Why constructive disagreement leads to better decisions. Differing opinions are a natural consequence of a diverse workplace, but a disagreement does not have to turn into conflict. Approaching disagreements with empathy, respect, and curiosity can strengthen relationships and get results. By Nicola Heath. This article has been edited for audio purposes and has been recorded using AI-generated voices. Article begins. Diverse views and perspectives within an organization are good for innovation, problem-solving, and employee engagement. In theory. In practice, differing opinions in the workplace can be difficult to navigate. Genevieve Hawkins, founder of Mentally at Work, argues that disagreeing respectfully by listening to each other's views and remaining solutions-focused can help strengthen a relationship despite differences in opinion. When we disagree well, we get a better outcome, she says. There is an art to disagreeing well. Hawkins says it is important to assume good intent in the other party and recognize that their opinion is valid before launching into a disagreement. We all see the world from different perspectives, she says. One perspective is not right and another wrong. We all look at the same data and interpret it differently. She also recommends viewing a disagreement as a learning opportunity rather than a fight. Instead of saying, "I want to be right," say, "I want to be curious." She says, conversational receptiveness. Harvard Kennedy School professor and behavioral scientist Julia Minson, author of How to Disagree Better, takes a similar view. She advises against viewing a disagreement as a contest to be won, an approach that is more likely to lead to an escalation in conflict instead of a productive outcome. Anytime there is a contest, there has to be a winner and a loser, she says. Most of the time, when you say something that makes you feel really good in a disagreement, it feels like you just scored a point, and usually that is a sign of trouble, she adds. In her book, Minson defines a constructive disagreement as any disagreement that increases our desire to talk to each other again. It has nothing to do with reaching resolution, persuading the other person, or finding middle ground. It is simply that this conversation was interesting, and I would be happy to talk to this person again, says Minson. Popular approaches to conflict management advise adopting an attitude of empathy or curiosity during a disagreement. But these are things that happen inside your brain. You can feel empathy, but you cannot act empathy, Minson says. This question of how you show those internal processes is an important one because your counterparts cannot read your mind. To counter this problem, Minson and her colleagues developed a communication style known as conversational receptiveness, a set of words and phrases that signal to a person that their counterpart is actively engaged with their perspective during disagreement. We are much better at understanding words than we are at interpreting body language, she says. That is where conversational receptiveness comes in. Because if you can identify the specific words that people can say to make their counterpart feel heard, then you have a toolkit that can help people have better conversations. Minson adds, the HEAR framework. Minson and her team developed a framework using the acronym HEAR to help people put conversational receptiveness into practice. H stands for hedging your claims, using words such as sometimes, maybe, and possibly. These words introduce a little bit of uncertainty into what you are claiming so that the other person can see that you are keeping their point of view in mind as you are talking. E stands for emphasizing agreement, using phrases such as, I also want to, we are both interested in, or I agree with some of what you are saying to signal common ground without necessarily agreeing. Any two people who disagree about a specific work-related matter will find other areas of agreement, Minson says. Often, the things they agree about are the reason they are in the conversation. We both think that good financial management is important for running a company well. We just disagree about exactly how to do that. A stands for acknowledgement, using phrases such as, I understand that, or it seems to me that you are saying. It is taking a few seconds to restate your counterpart's perspective so they have evidence you were listening when they were talking. R stands for reframing to the positive. Eliminate negative and contradictory words like no, cannot, will not, terrible, and hate. and replace them with positive phrases such as, "I think it is wonderful when," "I would really appreciate it if," or "It would be great if we could," Minson says. I might want to say, for example, "I hate being rushed into stressful decisions. Please stop." I could say, "I really appreciate it when people give me the time to consider important decisions. Thank you so much for understanding." I said the same thing. "I want more time." But the tone is very different. Put pen to paper. Hawkins acknowledges that it can be difficult to maintain a clear head during a disagreement. The coin feedback model, connection, observation, impact, and next steps, is another framework that people can use to keep a difficult conversation on track. She recommends that professionals outline arguments in writing in advance of any face-to-face discussion, including the points that both parties agree on, your position, an understanding of the opposing view, and 3 to 5 questions to ask to clarify their position further. Bring your notepad into the meeting, Hawkins says. Sometimes emotion can get the better of us. If that happens, take a deep breath and go back to your notes.